Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Firstly, apologies for the audio quality for the last few videos. I have a new microphone and we're just trying to work out the best quality of what we're doing here. We have here is a replay that we put up on the channel, the start of what 2.0. So we're just going to try and give you a bit more information that you can hear and see if that improves everything. Okay, so right, back to the program. It is Short Carlotta from GSL clan. This is one of the Indonesian clans that we've managed to battle before in Clan Wars. They're a good clan, got a lot of good players, but Short Carlotta is going to have a great battle here. But we're going to explain the mechanics of this particular tank. This is the T803. Sometimes considered or spoke of as one of the best tier 11s in the game now in what 2.0. Now what you'll notice on the reticle on the left hand side, now we've got a climbing scale here. As each shot you fire that actually connects, it goes up like a lift going up to the top, and you can get up to 5 gradations there, and each time you go up from either a hit and or a penetration, doesn't really matter if you pen, that will keep going up, and what that does is it reduces the reload time of the next shell. Now in the literature it's called a semi-automatic loading system. Not sure what's semi-automatic about it, but you know, it's a bit of a gimmick. But you can see the base reload here is 6.9. You can get it down to almost sub 5 seconds. Now he's running a rammer, which will help, and experimental mobility, also improve speed, and also vert stab, which will improve gun handling, of course. But what this gives this tank is just the most amazing DPM. Now it obviously has some weaknesses, and you can see enemy T803 there. Going to the cupola, just like most American tanks with a cupola, is the main weakness. So on his tank, he's sort of obscuring that, just certainly by rocking up and down. Very standard technique, everyone will know. But the enemy T803 just sitting there and sort of begging to be hit. But as this is one of the early games, I think this is actually from the second week. So about a week ago this battle was played, but I want to make it the first one in the channel. So again, apologies for the first video, which was a bit hard to hear. Now hopefully this will be a lot better for you. As you can see, working down this T803, got him down to one shottable, and just you can see how quickly these shells are coming out now. We're getting down to, actually it's not sub 5 seconds, but it's about 5.5. But nonetheless, as long as he keeps up the rate of fire and keeps putting in the shells, that counter will basically stay at the top. Now he's got an E105 there, he managed to hit but didn't penetrate. You can see it just keeps maintaining it. Now if you don't shoot for a little while, you see it's dropping down slowly. So if you've got an opportunity like this with a lot of tanks in front of you and you've got reasonable protection, then you know you can basically pump out a lot. Now just look at the damage total at the moment, 5k, and we are 4.5 minutes in. So he's just motoring through the enemy team here. Lines up the Super Conqueror, gets another shot. He's nearly on 6k, and we're still not outside the 4.5 minute or so. So counting down to 5 minutes, but you know, this is just crazy sort of DPM. Now of course you still have to manage your hit points, but you can see he's blocked 2.5k already. He's trying to get that E100 to pull back. Now I'm not running XVM, but you know, there are a lot of tourists in the game now, people who've got free tier 10s who've never played tier 10 before, and maybe they're a bit excited, not surprisingly. But that does mean that, you know, gameplay standards of some players in your team are perhaps going to be not up to normal tier 10 standards. But that will only help Short Carlotta's experience here. Now, got a KR1 just below here, and he bounces then coming around from there, and he returns fire and gets a hit. He's nearly on 7k. No, he's on 7k, just, you know, again, when we haven't gone through 5 minutes of the game yet, and he's already up to 7k. But there are tanks in the field, and they can put damage into him if they get the right angle. So he's going to have to keep an eye on him. Here comes the KR1. He tries to track him, which he does, but the tank repairs quickly. And you can see the E100 is getting whittled down. So he's still trying to get him to pull back, but I don't think that E100 is paying attention.
Watch out! Retreat! Yes, sir!
No, he's actually saying affirmative, but he's really not doing anything. But he's trying to get out of line of fire. Maybe he thinks that if he pulls back too far, he's going to get sacrificed to the tanks in the field, and that's not necessarily a bad idea. But he's got the KR1 below him, but also a Strip 103B who's been spotted in the field. Tries to line up the KR1 first, but that's just keeping an eye on the Strip there. Can he get a shot in? And yes, he should be able to. Now, yeah, again, we don't know whether that Strip is a tourist, but he's certainly taking an odd position just to go and battle Strip on the same team. But he's just really trying to deal with this KR1 who's proximity spotting him all this time while he's there. And here he comes, not paying attention. Oh, unfortunately that didn't connect. Now he's got him tracked though, and looks like he's used his repair kit. So can he keep him perma-tracked? Yes, he can. And again, oh no, he's repaired. But just again, keeping up his damage rate. He's nearly on 10k here. 2 more shots and he's made 10k. And look at the battle timer, 8.5 minutes to go, and he's already on nearly 10k. So this is going to be the highest damage game you'll probably see for a little while. I'm sure players may be able to replicate this, but so far I haven't seen one. There's a lot of games there though with 10k, and you're going to see them on the channel coming up. But 10k is going to become a fairly standard damage if you're in Tier 11. Not saying that all the Tier 11s are fantastic at the damage output, but certainly the T803 is starting to earn a reputation. Now, you'll be able to see that Short Carlotta's actually got 1 mark of excellence on the barrel, so he's already working his way up, and this game is going to do wonders for his MOE. We'll wait and see the results, but now he's just going through these tanks here, gets rid of the enemy 803, takes a hit from the mouse, but he's going to deal with this mouse. The mouse DPM is not too bad, of course, but he's got reasonable armor, and this mouse is trying to angle, but he's just showing his front lower plate. And 1 more shot and that mouse is gone, and he gets him. Does get 1 in return, but that is 3 kills now to Short Carlotta. And now he's got the Kranwagen, who may have been on reload and he was just backing away, but he's gone back to the garage. It brings up his 4th kill. And he's keeping his situational awareness up. Gets another kill as the ASX X40 ton comes around the corner. Now he's got a Leopard to deal with it. The can opener's actually got in front of him. The can opener may well get rid of this Leopard, but he might get a shot in, just trying to get it through from behind. And he should get a shot in, which he does. That brings up 12k, and again, just excellent shooting here. Now he's one-shottable to every tank in the game, but yeah, you don't want to be sent out by the Death Star if you can help it. So he waits till the Death Star to fire and chuffs across the gap so he can take on the Leopard, but he's going to give the Leopard a bit of a berth here to ensure he gets out of the proximity spotting. He might catch him unawares, which he does, comes around the corner, puts a shot in, ducks out before the Leopard can shoot him, and he'll have the DPM to deal with the Leopard, which he does before he reloads. So closing in on 13k. He's the last tank standing, but he's got 2 tank destroyers against him. So the best thing that he's doing is withdrawing to take up a position where he can get a bit of cover, and maybe he can coax these TDs out into the open field. And in fact there he's got the FV205B, so he puts a shot in, and now he's just going to tempt him. And I'm sure the FV is fired. Oh look, he actually bounces the incoming round. Look at that, 1750. He's just bounced off his armour. Now again, players aren't necessarily understanding the armour layout of these new Tier 11s, so that's sort of excusable. But again, we don't know whether that player is a bit of a, let's just call him inexperienced at Tier 10, or maybe in that particular tank as well. Plenty of players with Tier 10s, but they all have had the opportunity to select a new line. and that could well be the case for any of these tanks. So short caliber already up to 13.5k. Now that's damage that we know. There might be some damage from some blind shots that he's put out as well. We'll wait to the after game stats to confirm that. But he's coming up here now and he's got the FV4005. I haven't spotted him, so he has now, but he puts a shot in and he's switched to his HE, which is really the right thing to do. And you can see again his reload time just getting better and better. Puts a blind shot in there and we think that connected, but look, 14.6k. He's got to spot him again. Yes, he doesn't have a lot of hit points. Gets the kill. That's his 8th kill, so it's a Radley Walters. And just showing shy of 15k. I'm sure he's got it in the bag though. Let's go and look at the results. Alright, we've got the new interface here. So let's go from left to right this time. So we've got the Ace Tanker Mastery badge, the second mark of excellence there. We had one on the barrel there we didn't see at the time, but let's go through the medals here. Radley Walters medal, that's for the 8 kills. Got the Spartan for surviving the ricochet. That was that 1750 damage that FV didn't get. We've got the Steel Wall, of course, and the Top Gun award there for the first 6 kills, really. 281,000 credits and 9,000 EXP. But let's have a look at the team score. Let's get the base. Base 2,034. Again, you don't see that very often. A 2k base experience game. And this is tier 11, but 15.3k of damage. Holy cow. That is, I mean, I don't think this is going to be the last one we see, but that's the first time we've seen that, and I think this needs some celebration. What did the rest of the team do? Not a lot in comparison, and that's on both sides. Although the Kronwagen, I think they caught out there getting nearly 4k, and the ASX X40 ton in the field getting 4k. Mouse doing nearly that much, probably the standouts there. But without short Carlotta, this team would have been doomed. Now, what did it cost? Oops, get that out of the way. Did have personal reserves running, that helped. The cost of the ammo ended up being 234k. Well, a lot of shots fired, so now that's interesting. That doesn't show in this detail anymore. So I'm going to have to figure that out later on. But nonetheless, earned a very small loss of 752 credits, which you take every time. And well on the way to 3-marking this tank, but this particular game, I'd say, maybe the best one they'll play in it, but you never know. But you need those circumstances to come together. Anyway, great game there from Short Carlotta. Thanks very much for supplying the content. 15k game, I mean, I just can't believe it, but there it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pretty exciting game in falling out in front of me, and I hope you felt that. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel yet, that's an option for you. I'll have more great content to follow. He says, hard to chase this one. Thanks very much for watching.